Welcome back, everyone. Today I'm talking about points of information. I'm going to go over what they are, when to use them, how to use them, and some tips. So what are they? Well, a point of information, also called a POI, is a way to increase the engagement in a debate. You have an opportunity while the opponent is speaking to stand up and make some sort of interjection. This interjection takes the form of either a question or a statement that demands a response. These must be limited to 15 seconds. So just real quick, hey, what about this? When do you give them? In debate, there's a term called protected time. During protected time, you cannot give POIs. Both of the conclusions are protected time. For every other speech, the first minute and last minute are protected. So every other time, you're allowed to stand up and give a POI. What does this look like exactly? Well, you stand up, put your hand out, hand on your head. Okay. You don't have to put your hand on your head if you don't want to, but it's tradition. American parliamentary debate is a parliamentary debate. So it goes back to a time when all the members of parliament would be wearing fake wigs and they'd have to put their hand on their head to avoid it falling off when they stood up quickly. So you stand up, there you are, you wait, you don't say anything, you wait until the speaker acknowledges you. And the speaker has a few options. They might say, not at this time. They might just physically wave like this, and you know, okay, I'm going to sit down. They might say, they could just put their finger up like this. That's telling you, I'll be with you in a couple of seconds. I have to finish what I'm saying. As a speaker, never allow someone to cut you off mid-sentence. Finish what you're saying. You want to feel like you're in control of the stage. Don't be bullied. Or, if they did just finish what they're saying, they might say, and to your point. Or, but you disagree. Or, I'll take you now. Or simply, yes. Once you've been acknowledged, you ask your question or make your statement. Again, keep it short. If you start rambling on about some kind of example and illustrate something, the speaker will just wave you down. Even if you're getting to your point, they still have the option to wave you down whenever they want to. They're the speaker, they're in control. But presuming you get your point out, they now have to respond to it in some way. There are strong responses and weak responses. If someone asks you a question that makes your point look weak, and you respond to it by making it clear, no, this is, your question you have is not a problem for me at all. Okay, for example, supposing the speaker is talking about greatly increasing the amount of nuclear energy we have in the country. And so you stand up when they're talking about safety and say, well, hang on. What about 1,000 years from now? What about the safety then? The speaker has a couple of options. One of them is to say, I'm well aware of this problem and I'm dealing with it in my next point. It's not the strongest response, in my opinion. I like to see factual evidence and logical reasoning that directly deals with the problem that's been brought up. Radioactive material 1,000 years from now is a problem. The speaker should deal with that. And they could respond by saying, there are a number of systems in place that countries are exploring currently to bury nuclear waste in a more permanent fashion. We feel that this fully handles the problems of the radioactivity down the line. Something that directly deals with the question is the best possible response. From a bigger point of view, how do you use POIs? You should give two, take two. While the opposition speaker is up, you should be getting up twice at least. Going to take more than twice usually because they're going to wave you down a few times. But you want to get 2 of your points in there. Don't be standing up all the time. Only stand up when you think you have a good point to make. If you stand up for minor contradictions, they're going to deal with that POI very easily. So you want to make sure that you're listening to what they're saying and you have some direct refutation and you want to hit it with them. You want to derail the speaker if you can. As far as taking POIs, there's a lot of different options here. You should be taking 2. The question is, when? The problem with taking POIs early is you haven't built your case yet. The problem with taking them late, if you wave them all down, it might look like you didn't want to take them at all. So be careful when you take your POIs. Ideally, take them when you're making strong points. If you're making a weak point and someone stands up, you may want to just wave them down. Wait till your strong points, because they're going to feel obliged to get up again during your strong points. And that's when you're ready to fight. You're ready to defend those strong points. So POIs are a very important part of debate. They make the debate more engaging. Ideally, you want to have your argument on the floor early, and a POI is the way to do that. It also sets up situations where if you make a point early, even if the speaker deals with it during your speech, you can come up and say, the point I was making in my POI was this, and then you can really drive down deep. And the information's already on the floor early, so it makes your overall argument stronger. Again, POI is a very important part of debate, often overlooked by new debaters. Write a note on your piece of paper to give POIs. Make sure you get 2, and that's going to make sure the judge sees you as being engaged in the round. That's it for today. Catch you next video.